What is going on, everyone? And thank you for checking out my Seattle Supersonics rebuild series. This is episode one called The Return. Yes, we are taking the Oklahoma City Thunder and moving them back to where they rightfully belong in Seattle, where they should have never left. And we're going to rebuild this team. We're going to play through. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm super excited for you guys. I'm basically in the first episode, I'm going to break down for you guys everything that I've done up to this point before I actually start playing games and bring you guys that content as well. This is going to be using my NBA sliders. I'm using my gameplay sliders when I play games. So everything's going to be using my content that I do have uploaded for you guys pretty much everywhere. Before I kind of go over everything real quick, the one thing I'm having a tough time finding is like accurate Sonics uniforms, whether it be from the 95 to 2001, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, NBA Finals where they got the white, the green, and the red, all accurate. I can only find the green and the white. I can't find someone who makes like all three. Or the most recent, ones that they used from 2002 up until 2008 when they left, the classic that they remade, that KD wore, the white, the green, and the yellow. I can't find the actual accurate jersey of these anywhere. So if you guys know a gamer tag of someone who has it, or you guys are great at making these jerseys and you want to help me out, because I'd love to have something realistic for the jerseys, and that's the one thing that's bugging me right now is I can't quite get there. No one's got it anywhere. All three of them. So anyway, that's I'm gonna ask for a little bit of help there. If you guys do, just let me know in the comment section below or hit me up on Twitter or something like that. It's greatly appreciated. I'll shout you out in the next video. Anyway, guys, so getting in the video, this is the return. We relocated OKC. We are back in Seattle, and we are ready to take off and bring Seattle back to relevance. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have already done a couple games, but we're going to kind of go over what I've done with the team. Now I had four first round picks the next 2 years, and I was like, you know what? I don't need 8 draft picks in the next 2 years. I don't. I mean, you already got some young players there, and that's just too many people. So I thought I would use a couple picks to try to improve my roster. The first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go get Jonathan Isaac because he will bring some defense. He multi-positional player. He can guard, positions 1 through 5. He can step out and hit the three, which is definitely needed, and he's still pretty young. And I got the cap room to take up his contract and not really have it affect me. And so I ended up giving him not even this year's first round pick, a next year's first round pick from the Clippers, and then we swapped, I believe, second round picks, and then I had to give him Charles Brown Jr. and I got Jonathan Isaac. So for me, that made sense, and for the Magic, it honestly made sense to do because they just drafted on honestly. What is my opinion his replacement, and they had already signed him to that big deal. So for them to get out of that with a future first round pick and let their young guy they just drafted develop made a lot of sense as far as how that trade went out. And I was like, heck yeah, that'll work for me. Next, I wanted an improvement at the center position, and all we had was really Derek Favors and then Mike Muscala, which really wasn't going to get her done for me. And so I went out seeking a trade, and I was looking at going either after Thomas Bryant, Miles Turner, or Rashawn Holmes. I ended up choosing between Bryant and Miles Turner because Rashawn Holmes is a little bit older. Bryant's 24 and Miles Turner's 25. Ultimately, I ended up going with Thomas Bryant for one reason and one reason only is that Miles Turner still has two years on his contract, and so if I really didn't like playing with him, I have to eat that cap. Whereas Thomas Bryant is on an expiring deal, which is why the Wizards were really willing to trade him. They don't really have the cap space or the desire, I don't think, to re-sign him. They kind of got a logjam at that power forward position anyway, and so they literally they swapped expiring contracts for Derek Favors and gained a future first round pick in 2024 season. So to me, this made sense for the Wizards, and for me, it absolutely made sense because now I can have a younger low post presence where if I like him, I can re-sign him. I have the money to do it. If I don't like him, I'm out a first round pick from 3 years from now, and I can just move on. It is what it is. For me, it made sense, especially with the fact that he's a stretch big. The last one was really just I had a log jam at point guard, and I wanted to upgrade my wing position. I don't have a lot of wing players, a lot of point guards, and so Ty Jerome. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, he's just honestly just a casualty of my logjam at point guard, and Kendrick Williams kind of went with him there, and this trade made a lot of sense for me to get Terrence Mann as a solid role player off the bench at that wing position. One area where we really struggled on the roster, and for the Clippers, it gave them a very solid backup point guard slash shooting guard. So to me, all these trades made sense. I didn't have to get rid of any of my current first round picks. So as of right now, I will still have 4 first round picks coming up in the first draft, which is fantastic. And I still have 3 next year. So I didn't really dig deep into all that pick value that I have stashed away to build this team. I'm trying to do it the right way, in my opinion, without just going kind of crazy. So with that being said, let's go take a look at our roster, just so you guys can get an update. So we obviously got Shai Gilgeous at the point guard position, and I got Theo Maledon and Trey Mann as backups. We still got Lou Dort. Obviously, he was not going to go anywhere at all. We got our rookie Josh Giddey um, as well, and we got Keon Johnson that trade. Jonathan Isaac locking down. I switched him to a small forward because that's where I'm going to have him play primarily. Obviously, he can play the power forward as well. Terrence Mann we acquired in that trade is going to be a huge help on the wing. We still have Alexic Jegs, Pokes, however the heck you say it. We're trying to develop him. We're not really going to give him any tick. He still needs to develop a little bit because really putting him out on the court right now, he really can't contribute at all, really. And then we got Darius Baisley, our young, promising power forward. I like to think of him as potential Lamar Odom 2.0. Definitely wasn't going to get rid of him. And then we got our young guy Isaiah Roby as well. And we just got some here. Oh, Thomas Bryant, of course, we acquired in trade. And then we got some guys just rounding out the roster here. So I definitely like where this roster's at as far as going forward. I don't have any desire to make any other trades at this point in time. I'm going to kind of rock with it because I'm set up where I was kind of hoping to get. So with that being said, let's kind of go over how I have the lineup set up. I'm going to go 9-man deep, and my guys are extremely tired, but naturally they started off the season 2-0. But I got Shai Gilgeous running the point guard. Josh Giddey, I am starting him at the 2. And Jonathan Isaac at the 3, and Darius Baisley at the 4, and Thomas Bryant at the 5. And the reason I kind of went with this route is Shai's obviously unreal. He can score from anywhere in the court. Josh can't really shoot, but he can be an off-ball playmaker, which is, I think, important to have because I got Isaac can stretch the floor, and so can Bryant. I don't want to load up one unit with a ton of shooters. I want to have it balanced out. So in my opinion, I got Shai, Jonathan Isaac, and Thomas Bryant, who are all B or better from 3. And then Baisley and Giddey are C ratings, so you're not going to see a lot of threes, but they can do other things, especially in the playmaking category. And then off the bench, I got Lou Dort as my 6th man, and Roby, and he's going to be one of those playmaking facilitator types as well. And then Terrence Mann can shoot the 3. Theo Maledon can shoot the 3. So that's kind of how I have my lineup set up as of right now. They are exhausted, unfortunately. I kind of went a little hard on the training, but it paid off. So that being said, I simulated the first 2 games. I want to have our first game brought to you guys in our return to be in Seattle. However, we somehow dominated the Jazz. The Rockets aren't that surprising, but we did dominate the Jazz. So we are off to a 2-0 start. Unfortunately, we are very tired, and the next 5-6 games are brutal with the Sixers, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Warriors again, and the Clippers, and then the Lakers again. Like, that's just rough, man. That's an absolute rough stretch. I mean, to win one of these games would be impressive. So, I mean, the 2-0 start feels good right now, but it's one of those things where anything could happen. We could be staring 2-6 in the face when we go to when we go back home and face the Spurs here in 2 weeks. But outside that, guys, I'll kind of go over my staff with you as well. I did go ahead and hire some staff. I went with some shot doctor because our shooting isn't the best. You know, outside of Shea, we don't really have like a super consistent outside scoring threat. So we're there. Obviously, perimeter D is important. We do got Lou Dort and we got Jonathan Isaac holding it down on the perimeter, but I'd like to get some other players to be very, very solid defensively. And then we got a wing whisperer as well, just because wing position is where we need to grow a little bit, in my opinion, outside of Jonathan Isaac. So that's kind of what I went with there. I still have one extra staff position you guys can see, and this is where I'm still. I don't know 100% where I want to put this yet. I don't know if I want to put it as big man coach or guard guru. Wow, I can't talk. I haven't decided yet. I did go with three scouts because I have so many draft picks. I did one foreign, two domestic. I don't feel the need to go any further than that. I mean, I know I have 4 first round picks. There is a chance that I send one of those away at some point before, before the off season. So for now, I'm kind of just content with the three scouts. With the head scout, that's four. I have 4 first round picks. That should get the job done perfectly fine. And then sports medicine, I went with the physio, sports science, and sports psych. Again, this is one of those things where I'm either looking at going sleep doctor or going back and adding another coach. I haven't decided yet, which is why I'm kind of holding this off for now. But I think this is going to give us good balance in how we progress. Looking to the future, guys, the future is bright. If we can get to finances here. So even as of right now, we're sitting with 43.85 million in salary cap room, which is phenomenal. Now next year, that does take a little bit of a hit because Shea Gilgeous' contract jumps up by 25 million on his huge extension that he definitely deserves. But everything else here, we can keep pretty much everyone on our team if we like it. Everyone is signed through except for Terrence Mann, which for the cap number is almost worth bringing back. Muscala is probably going to be a cap casualty. It depends on what happened with Postkufeski, depending on how he progresses. Bring him back. Same with Robbie. And then honestly, it's going to be Thomas Bryant. How do we like how he plays? How do we appreciate him? He's going to be 25 years old, so he still has several years left to even get better. And it's really going to depend on the kind of money that he wants or demands at that center position. I do like that he's a stretch big. I do like that he is a good low post player as well. So he does fit what we're kind of trying to do here in Seattle. It's just really going to come down to the money because I do have to kind of keep the future in mind. And with 4 draft picks, we might be able to do something there. And then those are 1st round picks aren't going to be cheap either. So yeah, we'll kind of see what we're going to do, but we're going to build around Shea and Jonathan Isaac and kind of go from there. But the future's bright with the cap room, the picks. I'm super excited to be back in Seattle, guys, and I'm super excited to bring you guys more and more content. And that is where we are going to leave this video. The return to Seattle. Next, we will be taking you guys into Key Arena. Yes, I'm keeping it Key Arena. I know it's changed. We're going back into Key Arena as we play the 76ers. I hope you guys enjoyed that game as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the next video. Otherwise, that's it from me. Peace.